Hello everybody, I'm Coral. Welcome back again to my channel. I'm here today with a spoiler-free review of a book featured in Paperbacks from Hell by Grady Hendrix and Will Erickson. This one is Lupe by Gene Thompson. This was originally published in 1977. The copy I have was published by Ballantine Books, and it does have some step back art. Dear little Lupe in his coffin. Great. So this one, it actually started off really interesting, although the writing did feel a little, it's almost like disjointed, I guess. I'm not really sure exactly how to describe it, but there are times where it was like, it's like these people were having a discussion and there's just a lot of like dialogue back and forth and not like who said what, you know what I mean? And then they would be doing something somewhere and it was like all of a sudden they were somewhere else. Like almost like they're teleporting places, and it was just, I don't know, a little bit hard to get into at first. But the beginning was the most interesting part for me. This is about a woman named Emily, and her husband David is a doctor. And suddenly she's noticing David's coming home later and he doesn't seem interested in her at all. They've been trying to have a baby, although Emily has lost a few pregnancies, so that's been really hard on her, and she feels like it's her fault, and it's just all very hard. And now all of a sudden David's also acting weird, and she flat out asks him one day, "Are you having an affair?" And he comes clean about it because this woman, his mistress, he just finds something so compelling about her. He doesn't want to give her up, even if it means telling his wife. In fact, he wants her to know because then maybe she'll leave him and he gets to be with his mistress. This is causing Emily a great deal of grief, as you might imagine, and she ends up telling her friend Marianne about it, and Marianne kind of tricks Emily into going to this house with her. And Marianne says it's for a certain reason, but I get the feeling that maybe Marianne is manipulating Emily into coming to this place with her. And they're there to see this 11-year-old boy whose name inexplicably is Lupe. He is Latino, and I feel like that is typically a female name, not a male name. Could be wrong. Maybe there are some male Lupes out there, but I think that's like, I mean, every Lupe I've heard of and met has been a woman. So it was a little bit confusing for me that he chose Lupe as his name, that the author did. But they're there, and this is not super like racially sensitive. They are visiting a Mexican family, and there are definitely some stereotypes with that like he just didn't really need to use, but the author chose to do that anyways. And so they go there to see Lupe, and Lupe has some sort of power, right? And Marianne's trying to get him to find these earrings that she lost, but Lupe just like focuses in on Emily, and she says the name of the mistress, and of course Emily's like, oh, what could happen? Like, why is he, how could he know this? And then things start to get really weird from there. Basically, Lupe is offering to take care of this mistress problem. So as we know from the synopsis, the mistress ends up dying, and Emily is of course the #1 suspect for this. And the rest of this book, probably 2/3 of it, is this court trial that is not super interesting. And they really think that Emily is a witch. It's just like so crazy. They try her in a court in the 1970s of being witch. And you'll be surprised at the decision here. So yeah, I really did not enjoy about 2/3 of this book. It was dreadfully boring. It was terribly boring. But the beginning was so weird, and I don't even want to get into the weirdness. Oh my god. And here I am. I'm gonna tell you guys, like, pick up this book just for like the first third of it, because it's like out of line. It is out of line what happens here. It is so weird and creepy. I don't know what this person was thinking when they wrote it. It's out of line. It's over the top. It's just fucking ridiculous and like uncomfortable. It's so creepy, and not in like a scary way, in like an uncomfortable way. So I don't know what to tell you. Like the last 2/3, like I said, is bad, but the ending is kind of fun. The very ending, and some things get explained about like, you know, what exactly is going on with Lupe and things like that. I kind of almost wish that I was deciding not to do a not spoiler free review of this, because I'd like to tell you guys all the fucking weird shit, but like, I don't know. It's just silly. I'd encourage you to pick it up for nothing except for the ridiculous beginning and the ridiculous ending. And yeah, Emily's just a very typical like woman written about in the 1970s, where she's fainting and clutching her pearls and screaming and crying. The court case is kind of funny because she's like constantly talking and like constantly fainting and constantly screaming out, and I mean, she's not ever like held in contempt of court. Like, you can't actually do those things. It's so silly. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. It was silly. It was a really silly book, and it's too bad that so much of it was so boring, because this could have been like a much better book, I feel like, if he had just shortened down the fucking court case. Like, even if they had the boring court case, but it wasn't like so much of the book, because it is really so much of it. That's Lupe by Gene Thompson. This is a book featured in Paperbacks from Hell, 1977, Ballantine Books. Yeah. So there he is, sweet little darling 11-year-old boy named Lupe. I was telling my husband about this, and he was like, well, what's that boy's name? So cute, very adorable little Lupe. I'd love to know if you've managed to read this one. I really don't know. I don't know if it's like one of those Paperbacks from Hell that is one that you can get access to very easily. I don't know if there's like an ebook or something like that. So I don't even know if anyone in this fucking world, just kidding, has read this. But I will say that if you look at the Goodreads reviews, there are a lot of 5 stars for this book, and a lot of people saying this is the scariest book that they've ever read, and that is a flat out lie, unless maybe you're like an infant who can read and you've never seen anything scary, or you've never heard of anything scary before, then possibly that could be the scariest thing you've ever read. But like, was it scary, or was it absolutely fucking over the top and ridiculous? I don't know. But if you've read Lupe, I'd love to hear. Let me know if you've read any really great vintage horror lately. I'm always on the hunt for more books. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. I will see you later. Goodbye.